In this video, we'll be hunting a box of nickels. We'll be looking for any nickels older than 1960, including war nickels, buffaloes, or anything older. We'll also be looking for any proofs, foreigns, air reserve varieties, or any other cool things we can find. We do have a couple enders in this box. We have a 1995 Canadian nickel right here. Then a couple rolls after, we have a 1958 ender. So we'll get to those when we get to those rolls, and let's start the hunt, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Roll number 4, and we have our first older Jefferson, and it is a 1957 out of Denver. Roll 6, and we have our second nickel from the 50s, and it is a 1953 Denver. Roll 9 had a couple more nickels from the 50s. First is a 1952 out of Denver, and second is a pretty nice 1955 out of Denver as well. Roll 14, and we're still just getting 50s nickels because we just found another 1957 out of Denver. Roll 17, and we have a couple more 1957s. Both are from Denver, and this one on the right, not sure how it's going to appear on camera, actually has some pretty cool toning. It's in pretty great shape. Has some steps too, so that's a good find. Roll 19, and we have another nickel from the 50s, and this one is a 1953 out of San Francisco. Next roll, and we have a find other than a 1950s Jefferson, and this one's a 2009. They're lower mintage, and it's been a few boxes since I've found one. Roll 25, halfway point of the box, and we have another nickel from the 50s, and this one's a 1953 out of Philly. Hopefully we can get some older nickels soon. Just open the next roll, roll 26, find down the coins, and I think we're gonna have a war nickel. Crazy how our first nickel from the 40s is going to be a war nickel, and it is. It's a Philadelphia mint mark, 1943, 35% silver war nickel found, and we finally have one from the 40s. Same roll as the silver, and we have another one from the 50s, and it is a 1956 Denver. Just opened roll 28, and we're actually going to have two foreigns in this roll, both near the beginning. Both look like they're going to be Canadian. This one is a 1995. That's the same as the ender. We have a few rolls away. And then this one is a 1983. Roll 31 is our Canadian nickel ender, and we're actually going to have another Canadian nickel later in the roll. The ender is another 1995. Then later in the roll, right here is another one. And this one is a 2000. Roll 32. We have a couple more older Jeffersons. We got our first one from the 30s, a 1939. It is just a common Philadelphia, and it's not the DDR. Still odd that we found a 30s, and we have not found any 40s besides the war nickel. And we have another 50s, and this one's a 1951 out of Philly. Roll 33 was our 1958 ender, and it is a 1958 Denver, and it also had another 2009 Philly. Next roll, roll 34. We have another really nice 1957 Denver. Roll 38, and we finally have our first 40s nickel that's not the war nickel, and it's a 1941 from Denver. Roll 43, and we're going to have another silver. Saw the discolored edge, did already look at it, and it's another silver war nickel. And this one has an S mint mark. It's a 1943 S. 2 silvers in the box. That's awesome. Same roll as that silver, and we have another nickel from the 50s. This one's a 1953 from San Francisco. Next roll, and we have yet another nickel from the 50s. And this one is a 1956 Denver. Roll 48, and I just uncovered a pretty good find. It's a proof nickel. It's pretty circulated, but it definitely is a 1979 S proof. Don't find proof nickels too often, and that's a great find. Nickel box has been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We only got 8 S-mints. We got 4 foreigns, all were Canadian, a 1983, 2 1995s, and the 2000. We got 2 2009s, both out of Philly, and I did pull aside this 1985P with a misaligned die. Not really worth anything, but still pretty cool. And then near the end of the box, we did get that 1979 S proof. Older Jeffersons actually didn't get too much. Mostly from the 50s, only one from the 40s besides the silvers, a 41 Denver, and we did get a 39 Philly. We did get a few nice ones like this 53S, this 55 Denver, and then a couple really nice 1957 Denvers, one with some pretty cool toning. And the finds of the box are the 2 War Nickels, both 1943. One's a Philly and one's a San Francisco. Even though we didn't get too many other Jeffersons, 2 silvers in a box means it's a great hunt.